Hello everyone, welcome to Walking Around Hong Kong. I am Mr. Rabbit and probably this is your first time watching my channel because normally I do content in Spanish. This is my first video in English. So thank you for your first visit and remember to subscribe and give me a like if you like this video. Well, today the plan is to talk about this YouTuber that I found in Threads. She's called Because I'm Lizzy and she lives in China. She's been living in China for 4 years and now she has decided to come to Hong Kong and she's gonna give us her impressions about the city. And she's saying that the city is not safe, that she feels dangerous. She feels dangerous. I think that's nonsense, so we're gonna watch it and comment on that.
How safe is it really? This time, I'm in Hong Kong. Now, you've seen me walk around at night in China.
Well, Hong Kong is absolutely safe. I would say it's as safe as China. China is the safest place I've ever been to, and I think Hong Kong is up there with China, of course. I think most of the people that have watched this video agree with me, and we were commenting on that on Threads. That what is she talking about? So well, maybe she will have a reason to say that. Let's see.
China, searching for danger and finding, well, peace and a lot of food. But this time I'm in Hong Kong, and is it really safe here?
Yes. I mean, what she said about China is absolutely true, of course. That's one of the things I always say to the people that ask me about my life in this country, because I've been living in this country for very long. I also used to live in the mainland for 5 years, and now I've been living for 7 years in Hong Kong. So I have some experience on this. And yes, of course, what she says about China is totally true. China is 100% safe, mostly because there are a lot of cameras around and whatever you do is going to be recorded and they're going to find you. And also I think that that has created a sense of why to do anything bad if I'm going to get caught, and then people don't really do bad stuff anymore, of course. In China, in Hong Kong, there's always people doing bad things that is impossible to have a 100% safe place. But we're talking about like a tourist, a visitor, a daily life on the street. Like if you're gonna get mugged, if you're gonna get assaulted, or if you will feel unsafe walking in certain areas, that's not gonna happen either in China or in Hong Kong.
And are there homeless people in Hong Kong? Well, tonight we're going to discuss all of that.
There are homeless people in Hong Kong. Not as many as we could expect if we look at other bigger cities like Madrid or New York, as far as I know. Of course, there are some, but they are quite peaceful and they are just like sitting there and begging for some money. They don't really cause much trouble. At least I've never heard of trouble caused by a homeless person. But well, let's see.
Now, first impressions of Hong Kong: rich, very expensive. But other than that, it's really clean here. It's definitely way more modern than you will ever see anywhere in China.
Okay, this woman, I don't know where where is it coming from, but like saying that Hong Kong is cleaner and more advanced, more modern than China is absolutely a misconception. I don't think so. like if you look at China about the convenience on paying stuff, on the city infrastructure, the services, I think China is much more modern. Is like the top technological country in the world right now, the more advanced, the most advanced one, and Hong Kong is really behind on that. Hong Kong is still very analog. It's a little bit backwards in my experience. And about clean, well, not really. Okay, some areas, the maybe the richest areas are kept cleaner, but like you see the buildings around here, they and the streets are always like wet, and they have like a layer of soot. I don't know. There is something on the city that is not totally clean. Some of the buildings, when you look at them from inside, they look clean and fine, but the outside is really dirty and badly kept. Like my building, one day maybe I should show you. But my building, when you look at it, my friend looked at it one time when I moved in. They were like, "Wow, that came out from Silent Hill."
And like even in the tourist areas, because there are so many people here, right? It's like 7.8 million people living in a smaller space than the whole of New York City. So
It's
it
true.
can get quite chaotic.
Yeah.
But during the day, things are cool, right? You see all the fancy cars driving around, the rich people going to work. But then at night, something changes.
Hey, those that are not rich like myself, we also go to work. Only the rich people go to work. Okay.
Just a little bit, and I'm just that small voice in my head telling me to hold on a little bit tighter to my backpack, look over my shoulder a little bit more, and just make sure I don't go down any weird alleys.
Okay. Okay. I get where she's coming from. Maybe because what I said that Hong Kong, on the surface, it doesn't look that clean. It doesn't look that well kept. I understand some people can have this feeling of something's gonna happen, some weird person is gonna be around there, or this area is dangerous. I understand the feeling. Also, I have an anecdote. Like I used to have a friend. I have a friend, still have him, and now he lives in mainland China, and he used to live in my neighborhood when I lived somewhere else. And when I came to visit him, we were like making fun of him, like, "Oh man, you're living in this weird area. We're living with these people around. That's so creepy and stuff." But actually, now when I nothing happened to him ever, and now that I came here, I just realized how silly I was by saying that, because it's totally fine. Nothing has ever happened. It's all very safe. It's all very uh, harmless. Like the other day, I was going with my wife to buy something expensive to from a guy on the subway, and we were to the middle of that area, and it was fine. We were carrying some money, and no one said anything. No one looked at us. So I understand she may get this suspicious feeling because of the how the city looks in some areas, but that's just a feeling. It's really nothing there.
I feel like probably the biggest difference between here and mainland China are the homeless people. In my 7 days traveling around Hong Kong, I have seen homeless people every single day, and especially at night. They're not dangerous or aggressive at all.
Okay, so there you have it. There's something that she's even saying is not dangerous. So why are you bringing that up? But anyway, 7 days and you are seeing a lot of homeless people. That tells me you've been moving around the same area the whole time. Because man, I live here. I make videos here. I move around a lot, and I don't see that many homeless people. I see them occasionally in some corners, but not in a week. Maybe I see zero homeless people.
Or they're just there on their cardboards begging for money, and it's definitely something I'm not used to. And it just scares me a little bit more than when I would walk around in mainland China. But like for example,
Okay, the contrast there, because in mainland China you will not nowadays you will not see any homeless people. So after 4 years of not seeing any, and you go to another city and you see some, I understand there's some shock there, but I think she's exaggerating a little bit.
last night I was taking a subway back from the street market, and a woman begged me for money, and I was so freaked out that I honestly didn't really know what to do in that moment because I'm not used to that at all.
I mean, she didn't say the details like where did she beg for money, because one time I had some lady inside the paid area of the subway asking me for money, and I was like, that's weird. Just ignore them. You just even today I was on a 7-Eleven buying some food, some snacks, and I got these ladies. I saw her around today, and she was like, excuse me sir," and she was like talking to random people asking for something, just ignore them. Just pretend you don't hear them and move on. It's fine.
And when I came to Hong Kong, immediately I felt like, okay, this isn't China. Like, this isn't mainland China. Immediately stuff felt different. Yes, it was more expensive, more rich, but also a little bit scarier. Like, the hotels, usually in China, I would just book any hotel and really never ever think about my safety, even.
Okay, definitely. When you come to Hong Kong, it doesn't look like China at all. Like it's very different. It's China, all right. It's China because of the constitution. It's China because of the politics. There's a number of reasons why Hong Kong is China itself, but obviously it has its own history. It has its own characteristics that make it different. And that goes from the people's personality, from how the city looks, how narrow the streets are, the style of the buildings. Like, yeah, of course, it's not China. And now she's gonna talk about the hotels. And I mean, Hong Kong has very luxurious hotels and very cheap ones, and everything in between. So if you go to a very fancy or like even middle size hotel, you will be fine. You will be like in a Chinese hotel. It will be good looking and elegant and clean. But of course, if you're gonna come like a backpacker, or you get to a cheaper one because you want to economize your trip, you're gonna get a bad place. Like the first time I came to Hong Kong, I was in a hotel. I don't remember the name. It was just like a rectangle, a very narrow rectangle with a bed, and on the feet side there was the door for the bathroom. It was really tiny, and that was it. I almost didn't have space for myself and the suitcase. But that's what you choose, right? So, yeah.
When I'm inside the room. But here I kind of read the reviews more. I checked the location, checked the area, and then at night, I definitely locked my door double, like all the locks that it had. So that is definitely something that I felt different. Like here, it's a little bit dark.
I wish she gave some details, like what did she read on those reviews, or what is she scared of, because until now she's just saying I feel scared, I feel worried, I feel creepy, but she's not like giving anything specific for what's wrong. So it's just she feels, but she's not giving any information on why Hong Kong will not be safe. You know what I mean?
And I don't feel that comfortable to walk around here right now. So let me go find a busier area. Okay, guys, while I'm going to find a more open area, you need to remember Hong Kong is still safe, like very safe compared to other countries. Like a lot of foreigners live in Hong Kong, which is amazing for me. Like so many foreigners walk around. There's a lot of Western food.
So you feel safe with foreigners, but not with the locals? What are you saying? Be weird, no? It's like, oh, if I'm surrounded by the locals, if I'm surrounded by Hong Kong people, I will feel tense. But hey, there are foreigners here. There's a lot of foreigners. That's good. Like, what? Be racist? Or I don't know. Maybe it's just not thinking what she's saying, but it sounds quite weird to me.
I'm just in heaven around here. So that's amazing. But I mean, for someone that's been living on mainland China for this long and now traveling around here, it's a little bit down on the safe side, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, a lot of foreigners I met here are like, oh, so safe. We can walk around, women alone. Like I went hiking today by myself.
One time here in my neighborhood, I saw like a little girl. She should be like 6, 7 years old. She was walking alone from school to the house. I know because I was following her. Not really, but you understand what I mean. I was going the same way as she was, and she was just a little girl walking around with an ice cream, and I was thinking like, wow, this thing in other countries, it wouldn't happen. You will have the parents going to pick her up because they don't trust that walk from school to home, right? Of course, not all the countries, but that is out there. That happens. And I was thinking, yeah, Hong Kong is like this safe. You can do that. And even in the comments in threads where we got this video, There was a father saying, "My two daughters, they can go out at night. I don't care. I don't think nothing's gonna happen to them. I know that, so I don't even care." So yeah.
And I was scared sometimes when I heard some leaves rattling. I was like, is it monkeys or is it someone there? But other than that, it's still very safe.
Yeah, the monkeys. The monkeys can be quite tricky and quite mean. I haven't seen them yet, but I've seen the videos, and yeah, that is an unsafe thing to do. If you go to the mountains and you find the monkeys, that can be a bit dangerous.
We did find a busier street right now, so it might be a bit more noisy, but I feel safe, so that's the important part. But yeah, you need to also think of why everything is so expensive here. The property prices, like a shoebox apartment here, costs like 1 million US dollars. It's insane.
Like, I don't see the connection between how expensive things are and risk on the street. But yeah, she's right. The price of things here is insane. I guess you already know. You're watching these videos because you have some interest in Hong Kong stuff, and you probably know already how expensive everything is because of the lack of space, the artificial um, rising of the prices, and the taxes on the property for the owners, and how much rent costs for people and for businesses. So yeah, that's a conversation.
Insane. My apartment, like my hotel rooms, is so small here for like the price I get for a five-star hotel in China.
Yeah,
But these people,
I
they
believe
need
that.
to wait for like 5 years sometimes to get a house.
5 years. I wish. She's talking about the public housing, like you can apply to get a house from the government, to which you pay the rent. You pay the rent to them, and it's pretty affordable, much affordable than a normal rent. But yeah, there is a waiting line. There is a queue, and it will take very long time to get one of those. Um, Me and my family, we are. I think they are applying for an apartment, and now that I got married a year ago, we'll try to apply for one too. But like, I don't have hopes, like, to get it soon. So 5 years is actually reasonable for Hong Kong.
And it's the most expensive rental place in the world. When you're thinking of all the homeless here, don't be like, oh, it's because, it's bad, like in the US. So that's also why you need to remember all the homeless people around here because it is so expensive.
Oh,
And
okay.
also something I do need
So she's connecting the expensive rent with having homeless people, and then that making the city less safe. No.
to say that's completely different than in mainland China are the drugs here.
Oh.
I was very shocked. Like I was here for this big event, and after we were at a bar, and yeah, I was also very, very shocked because I never saw or heard anything like that in China because
Okay, I don't have like the exact information about this topic, but what I know is that drugs in Hong Kong are illegal, of course. It's risky because there's a punishment on jail and fines. But in mainland China, as together with other Asian countries like Thailand, trafficking, you carry drugs and they catch you like selling and stuff, it's possible to get the death penalty. So that makes it much less likely to find drugs around. But in Hong Kong, having a much more Western style of law, um, you can find drugs relatively relatively more easily than in mainland China. Everyone knows someone that has drugs, and because the punishment is not that bad, so people will take that risk. But I mean, if you are going to that kind of events and you see drugs, you are going to a very big thing. Like, also drugs is not are not that common in my circle. I don't know anyone who does drugs. But anyway, yeah, okay, yes, drugs exist in Hong Kong, much more than in mainland China, that's for sure.
it's so against the law. Talking about the law, why like here it's more open, more free, more Western because yes, it's a part of China, but it's a one country, two systems kind of thing. So
That would be, maybe that would be a good idea for a video, like making a, like, what does that mean? What is one country, two systems?
that's why the laws here are different than in mainland China. There is a really huge gap here in Hong Kong between the rich and the poor. So not everyone gets the help that they would get on mainland China. Because like
Also, I don't think we have that much help. Like, we have it. Like, my wife tells me that, um, if you are homeless, if you don't have food, you can go to places and they will assist you. I don't have the concrete information right now. I can ask and bring them to the channel. But yeah, of course, we have some help for people in need. But I also believe in mainland China is a bit more common, also because they have less homeless, so like they can manage that is more easily. Oh, I just remember that, there are groups of people that feed the poor in Hong Kong. That is not a government thing. This is like a private thing. People, groups of friends that get together and they bring food to the people in need, which is quite nice.
here I saw when locals see homeless people, they just keep on walking. Where in China, I don't think that would be the case. Because here there are like I heard some NGOs that give food, but shelter is
Yeah, yeah.
limited because
That's what I'm talking about.
there's not a lot of space here for everyone to live. Where in mainland China, the government really has a zero free homeless rate. So whenever they find someone, immediately there's a shelter close to them where they can then go to sleep and then find a job and live.
And still, so people will say that China doesn't care much about the population, that China don't care about the human rights of the people. I mean, of course, it's not perfect. It has its flaws, but I think this is a good thing they do. This is a good thing about the government of China, I believe.
I'm so sorry. Like for those of you who live in Hong Kong, I promise you, if we're talking about anything else other than danger, like I'm in love with this place. The bakeries, the Western food, the skyscrapers. I definitely feel like I don't want to leave in 2 days. I really don't. But
I mean, I live here, and I would recommend everyone to come and see it, because Hong Kong is quite a 50% mix of China and the West. So that's quite a perfect match. 7 days in Hong Kong is quite enough, I think. I mean, 4 days is good. Since you have things to see and things to do, but in one week you can be like quite okay with that.
maybe this video is not as positive just because it isn't as safe as it is. Like now I'm holding my camera, I'm definitely holding it a bit tighter, and it is just the truth. I don't think anyone can argue with me about that.
I can argue with that. I can argue about that. Like, when I started making videos, first I was holding my phone in my hands like this, and then I moved to a gimbal, to a very like bulky gimbal with a clasp that you put the phone on, like a magnetic clasp that you can like rip off very easily. And right now, not this video. This is my computer, but the videos I'm making outside, I'm making them with my DJI Pocket 3, which is like a handheld camera. It's like a vertical kind of thing, very small. And I can tell you, no one has ever looked at me to what I'm doing. No one has ever tried to snatch it from me. There's been like zero risk, and I've been around. I've been around the city a lot. I've been doing videos for 4 years, and I never felt scared for a second about my recording gear. Yeah, so I don't know. I was just talking about, to be honest.
But it is still nice to walk around and explore. Last night I went to Temple Street. Temple Street, I saw a lot of homeless people. Amazing food though, so definitely go. And like I said, don't be scared because of the homeless.
That street is interesting. When you go in the night, it's very busy. There is a lot of like food booths, like a market is nice. If you go during the day, it gets a bit creepier because like everything is closed. There's like some prostitutes over there, and it looks like a sketchy place. Like, why everything is so closed when the rest of the city is just walking and moving. So that's an interesting thing.
homeless people, but definitely go to Temple Street. They have amazing food there, but that's on the other side. I am in the Wan Chai area now, here in the central area. So
There, where she is in One Chai, I mean, One Chai is fine, but it also has a lot of like how to say, yeah, like hookers and like clubs that are full of like drunk foreigners and like Filipino girls trying to hook up with them. So like there is this vibe of like not so friendly atmosphere in some areas of Wancha. I mean, Wancha is big, but it's one area where you can find this kind of underworld.
it seems more like sophisticated, if I can say it like that. Because I haven't been walking around here. I was only walking around in like the Temple Street area. So definitely go there. I mean, if you want to see that I'm talking the truth, that they are homeless, you can go there. I feel like while I am walking around, like, see, this street isn't that busy, so it's a little bit more scary. But
Once again, it's all about her feeling. It's all about she's looking at a place that it looks a bit not that fancy, and she's getting creeped out by nothing.
I just want you to remember, even me saying all this, when you come here, or if you go to China, everything is so cheap. Then when you come here, everything's so expensive. So you need to understand that's also why, because things are so expensive here. That's why there are more homeless people. People just are a bit more poor here because everything is so expensive here.
People are more poor here. Well, not really. Like, okay, there is a there like you said it. There is like a disparity on the rich and the poor, but there are also a lot of like middle level people, like people like me that we just make enough to live okay, to live comfortably with our family, having our little hobbies, our little collections of stuff, our little video games, our nights out. So I mean, yeah, of course, things are here more expensive, like the rent and the food and the transport. Everything is more expensive than China. That's of course, that's totally true. But like, it's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? It's not the root of everything that's bad with Hong Kong.
Here in Hong Kong, like if you go to a village in China and eat from a place like this, you'll still feel completely normal. But here, definitely feels a bit more like a poor area. So I'm just very thankful that I do live in China.
Okay, this is like an unfair comparison, but the the poorest area of Hong Kong is richer than the poorest areas in China. Like, okay, if you are moving around Guangzhou, Shenzhen, those big cities, Hangzhou, whatever, of course you're gonna think like, wow, Hong Kong is kind of there's this kind of poor feeling, right? These poor areas, but China has a lot of areas that are underdeveloped, that are like villages, that are like very rural, and that doesn't happen in Hong Kong. So I don't think it's making a fair comparison here.
You know, talking about
Oh,
safety and
wait, I'm gonna make a cut here because I'm gonna skip all this advertising. It's very long, so we're gonna get back when she's done with these ads.
so that I have the opportunity
Those were like 4 minutes of promo. They must pay well.
to come over to Hong Kong. Fun fact, if you want to come to Hong Kong and you're traveling in China, don't fly over to Hong Kong. It's very expensive. Rather like take domestic flight, like go to Shenzhen, and then you take the train over. It's actually a 15-minute train. It costs you 80 RMB. It is ridiculous. I did it for the first time now when I came.
Yeah, actually, we have no so many years ago. We have this new high speed train that takes you to China and to Shenzhen and other places. It's really convenient. The price is very reasonable. It's super fast. So I remember when I started dating my wife when I was living in the mainland. She was here, and we were like long distance relationship for 2 years, and during these 2 years, I came to Hong Kong. She came to where I was living. That's Foshan, next to Guangzhou in the south, in the Guangdong province, and we had to move by like bus, and then now they have this train, and it's like 40 minutes. Before it was like 3 hours, and now it's like 40 minutes. Much better. So yeah, she's right on that. Go to China first, visit China, remove those bad ideas you have about China on your mind, and then leap over to Hong Kong through the train. That would be very nice. That's a good advice.
So much cheaper than paying direct flights over to Hong Kong. But that's only if you're traveling in China.
Also, because if you get the visa, if you come to Hong Kong only, you will probably, depend on the country that you're watching from, you will not need a visa to come to Hong Kong, most likely. But then you cannot go to China because you need a visa, a tourist visa. Right now, there are some countries that are exempt from visas, like Spain, like my country. Um, but yeah, it will be better. You get the visa for coming to China. You go in China, which is more difficult, and then you come to Hong Kong, which is free, and then you can go back to China. Yeah, she's being smart here. Follow that.
So when you're in other countries, like flying from New York, fly directly to Hong Kong is cheaper than flying to China. A lot of shops are actually closed at night. So nice to see foreigners, guys. And here, when people see me, they're not shocked at all because
Okay, okay. I want to say, after the COVID, and after the protests and everything, the economy of Hong Kong has not been that good, and a lot of places are closing. Also, like we said, the expensive rent is taking a toll on them, so they need to. Yeah, there's a lot of places that have been active forever and they are closing now, and there is much more rotation of businesses. Like they close and another opens in the same place, and now the economy is a bit uncertain about the local businesses. Yeah.
there are a lot of foreigners in this city. I still call it a country. I'm so sorry.
Nah, Hong Kong people will love you for that. And yeah, of course, if you like that feeling of like being noticed, of like being looked at, like draw attention to you, go to China, because they are still in some cities. They will still be surprised and attracted to interact with a foreigner. But you go to Hong Kong, you are just one more number. There's so many of us here that they don't care anymore. We are just one more people. uh, that also has its advantages. I like the feeling of when I was in China to like have people wanting to take a photo with me or talk to me. That was nice. Here you're just one more person from all of them. So up to you, but yeah, maybe go to China, go to the smaller places, get that feeling, because why not? It's an experience.
But yeah, here people, I do have to say, like, people are more friendly in a sense because they are so confident because they can speak English. So they probably
Okay, yes. A lot of people can speak English, and actually, I know people that have been living in Hong Kong for decades and they do not speak any Chinese, which is crazy for me. Uh, but yeah, you can make your life totally in English here. So this is right about that. About them being friendly, no, I don't think so. I think Hong Kong people are, I wouldn't say rude. They are rude, but I wouldn't define them like that. I would define them like dry. They are a bit dry. They are a bit cold. They are very individualistic. You know what I mean? It's not very easy to make friends with them. It's not very easy to strike a conversation with someone just out of the blue. Um, and in that, I found Chinese people from the mainland China to be much more friendly and easier to get along with. Silly example, the other day I was in a mall trying to find some cards, some gaming cards, some for a game, and I couldn't find a store that had what I wanted. So I was trying to talk to someone in the mall to guide me to find that store. And when I talked to someone like, "Excuse me, can you help me find?" Everyone looked at me like, like they got this this "I'm not trusting you. What do you want?" This expression on the face, like, dude, chill. So they're not that friendly, to be honest. I think a lot of people are going to agree with me.
It will help me more than in China because here everyone speaks English. The two languages here are Cantonese and English. I mean, not that many people here speak Mandarin.
Not exactly truth. I mean, yeah, the two official languages are Cantonese and English. Yes, um, but most people can go by in Mandarin. They can make do in Mandarin. Like I speak much more Mandarin than Cantonese, and if I cannot um, use my English, I will use my Mandarin, and I haven't had any big problems with any of them. So obviously, it's preferable that you speak Cantonese, but you can speak uh, English and Mandarin. It will be fine both. Um,
And talking about everything being expensive here, the past few days I did some research and I found out that a lot of people, young people, and obviously business people, what they do is they live in Shenzhen in China and then they work in Hong Kong because the salaries are so high here. So what they would do is they would literally just come over every morning and go back because, like I said, the train is 15 minutes long. So they can save double because they live in such a cheap place but work in a place where the salary is so high.
yeah, that's true. That some people do that. I even know a person that works in Macau, but he lives in Hong Kong. And yeah, about the Saint Yen is totally true. Like when you like the rent in Hong Kong is so expensive that you it's preferable to sacrifice your time for a cheaper rent and for a cheaper uh, place to be in than in Hong Kong. Me myself, I would love to go back to living in mainland China because I felt my my level of life was higher than here in Hong Kong. I don't know if Shenzhen. I'm not a big fan of living in Shenzhen, but yeah, that is a very good idea, and that is totally true. You can have a job in Hong Kong and live in the mainland China, Shenzhen, or any other city around it, and it might be worth.
Talking about reach, guys, my Uber, it's ridiculous. Every time I order an Uber, I'm getting a Tesla as an Uber.
Yes, that's true.
That's crazy.
That way, they can also get more on the fee.
I know like this video is completely different of what you'd usually see because when I'm making a is it safe in China,
It's a little bit all over the place, I must say.
my viewers now know I'm talking about the danger. The only danger in China is getting fat. Really, getting fat and poor because the food is just ridiculous and so amazing. But here, like, not that many places have food actually.
What?
Like, yes, there's a lot of Western food, but it's so expensive. So you have to choose nicely what you want to eat. Where in China, you have all these night markets where you just spend like even just 50 RMB, but you eat so much that you're just so fat. It's crazy.
Okay, yeah. In Hong Kong, you can find food from anywhere in the world, including mainland China, of course. But Hong Kong is lacking of two things. The first one is, as he said, the night markets. We do not have proper night market because of the laws and the regulations, and because like street vending is not allowed, and there is some legal mumbo jumbo over there that it's not easy to have a night market in Hong Kong. There have been some attempts with relative success, but it's not a thing really. And also, China is full of like small eateries, like small places. Like it's like a we can say it looks like a garage. It looks like a warehouse. It's just like a hole in the wall where you can just go in, and there is an old lady giving you like noodles with meat for 2 yuan, and that is great. That is the real Chinese experience, daily food, and we don't have that. We have restaurants. So yes, you can find food from anywhere. You can find real Chinese food, but it's always gonna be a bit more fancy, a bit more like a sitting down kind of place to eat. So She's kind of right that it's not the same, but it's not that we don't have it. You know what I mean?
Crazy. So this one's definitely different because this is actually talking about the danger here in Hong Kong, the homelessness here.
You're not talking about the danger. You're just talking about how you feel. You feel scared. You feel scared. You feel scared. But you're not telling us why. What's wrong?
And yeah, like I said, if you want to see food, go to Temple Street. That's amazing. Mongkok is also good to go and explore. And then, yeah,
Mongkok is great. Mongkok is good for everything, for bars, for secondhand market, for video games, for food, for whatever, for cinemas, for malls, for everything you want. Mongkok is amazing.
yeah, Western food is everywhere, guys. Chinese food is very difficult to find.
No.
We literally tried to find some nice mixian, like some rice noodles. It was so hot.
Oh, Mission. Michelin in the subtitles. Mission, yes. Mission is a kind of a thin noodle from China. Yes, you can find it, but you need to look for it and find the places that have it. It's not like ubiquitous like everywhere in the mainland, but yeah, we do have it. We just need to look for it.
Hard. Yeah, I feel safe now. We're in a bigger area.
Good.
See, if you're walking around in a place like this, I feel like it's completely fine. And it's very strict here in Hong Kong because I mean, they need to regulate all these people. So they have these lights. You can only walk when it's green.
A traffic light? They have traffic lights in China too. What are you talking about?
You're not allowed to walk like on the right side or something like that. And when you take the subway and you go up the escalator stairs, you have to stand on the right because the people.
You don't have to. Is recommended. Is like a deference for other people, because yeah, people here are rushing, man. Here people move fast. They are rushing. They are busy. So yeah, the custom here is to, I mean, on the street it should also be like that, but it isn't. But on paper, it's like the recommendation. In the escalators, it does happen. You don't have to, but you should stay on the right side of the escalator. So the people that want to go faster, they want to walk up, they have a way. So I think it's just like polite to do that. They're not gonna arrest you if you don't. But of course there's gonna be people complaining like, dude, walk, or I want to walk, move, or something, it's like it's very well established that you let the people like walk by the escalator. Yes. Also, I don't want to bash in China, but we have a very good custom of queuing up, of lining up. Keep the line when you're boarding somewhere. And in China, they are lacking that a lot. They love to jump the queue. They like to elbow their way in. So yeah, we are a little bit more strict on that.
People passing you on the left or walking fast. Yeah, I was a bit scared the first 2 days because everything is so strict. And also, if you eat in the subway or
Don't do
feed a
that.
pigeon, if you feed a pigeon, you go to jail, or you have to pay 13,000 Hong Kong dollars. That's like 1,700 US dollars.
Okay, yes, you are not supposed to eat or drink in the subway. Mostly, I guess, because they want to keep it clean, right? And yeah, you also are not allowed to feed wild animals. Not only pigeons, it also like wild boars that can come to the city sometimes. Yeah, you are not supposed to to feed animals, under the reason that they can become dependent on humans. They will lose their hunting instinct. So of course they're not gonna send you to jail if you buy your sandwich on the subway. But yeah, they can find you. That's true. But hey, Hong Kong is still much better than Singapore, the fine city, the city of fines. Yeah, we're not like that. We have a lot of regulation, a lot of signs, and a lot of posters like "Don't do that. This is a fine." But I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's definitely strict because I mean they need to.
Yeah, this reminds me. I was in the hospital the other day, accompanying someone, and they had a sign like, "Don't photo, don't make videos, or you will be in jail for 3 months, or you had to pay 20,000 um, Hong Kong dollars. So that's crazy.
to regulate all these people. Oh, and the danger in China, the joke danger here in Hong Kong is bakeries, guys. This place has the best bakeries that I've ever seen in my entire life. I literally have like 2 bags.
Which one? Say the number. Say the name. Probably this is talking about the Bake House, which is like the most famous one right now. But who knows? This is right though. The pastries here, the sweets are pretty good. I mean, I come from Spain. We like our sweets. We like our intense flavors, even the strong sweetness. Here, you will not find that. Like the best compliment a Chinese person can give to a sweet is not too sweet. But still, they are pretty good. The egg tart are great. One day maybe I will show you my favorite pastry. It's called chicken tail bun. It's like a long bun and it's filled with coconut cream. I love that.
Actually, in my backpack that I'm taking home with me because wow. But yeah, when you are traveling in Hong Kong, I think the biggest thing that will amaze you is how you can see the biggest skyscrapers you've ever seen in your life. A Rolls Royce passing you, but then you'll see like the oldest building that you've ever.
The contrast. Hong Kong is a city of contrasts. The rich, the poor, the nature, the city, the oldest buildings, the newest buildings. Yeah, that's totally true. We are the city with the most skyscrapers in the world. So yeah, that's something you need to see. The skyline of Hong Kong is just top notch.
Ever seen in your life as well. So the contrast is just so big here. So to end off this video, Hong Kong is much safer than Western countries, but compared to China, it's definitely filled with more poverty and definitely need to take a bit more caution over here.
Caution is always good. Relating it to poverty, in this case, I don't think is correct. And again, Hong Kong and mainland China, exactly the same safe. Don't worry at all.
I mean, this doesn't make Hong Kong bad, right? It just shows you how different policies create different outcomes. Oh, a nice little shop here where people are eating. Like in China, safety is kind of engineered, right? Here, it's just like you have to survive.
You have to survive. You have to survive on your salary because everything is so expensive. But apart from that, I don't think you need to worry about surviving.
Right?
Jesus.
Like, look, that old guy taking those boxes, definitely recycling more because that small money can make a big difference.
That's true. Also, it's a job for retired people that want to get more income, so they get these silly jobs or recycling stuff, so they can get some more money. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, let's finish off this video. Let me get an ice cream and get back to my hotel. Just last one. Now where I'm walking here in Wan Chai, it's not that busy, but like I see Temple Street, even the main in the central, like with all the big buildings and Long Kwai.
Lang Kwai Fong, that is the party area. It's like an uphill street, full of bars and some hotels and some restaurants. It's like a party area. I don't like going there. A lot of drunk people, a lot of party goers. Uh, Not dangerous again, but drunk people are a tad unpredictable. So I don't really like going there anymore. I'm getting old, man.
Kwai Fong, I think is how you pronounce it. In Lang Kwai Fong. It's very, very busy there. So go to Lang Kwai Fong. That's the perfect area to walk around. It's safe because a lot of people there, right?
I mean, if you go on a weekday, on like at 1 p.m., it's not gonna be that full. But on the nighttime, is better.
So definitely go there and explore. Hong Kong is amazing. I literally just made a short for my Instagram where I'm just.
All right, I think we're pretty much done here. So, well, tell me what you think. Do you agree with her? Do you think Hong Kong is dangerous? Do you agree with me and it's fine? Tell me where you're watching me from. And that's it. Thank you for watching me. I'll see you in the next video, but in Spanish. Bye bye.